Hello and welcome to Everyday's Kitchen. In the video today, I'd like to share with you the recipe of a very popular street food in Vietnam, and we call them Bánh Rán Mặn. These small oval-shaped balls have two parts, a cover of glutinous rice dough and a savory filling of meat and vegetables. After being fried, the dough will become crispy outside, yet soft and chewy inside, which goes perfectly with the savory filling of pork. And to make this dish even more tasty, we serve them with sweet and salty dipping sauce and some salads. I know this dish may look strange to some of you guys, but believe me, you should definitely try this recipe at least once because I'm sure you will be amazed by how good it is. We start with preparing the dough. Add into a large bowl the glutinous rice flour, sugar, salt, and mix very well. Note that glutinous rice flour and rice flour are two different types of flour, and you can find both of these ingredients quite easily in any Asian groceries. Then we are gonna add into the bowl some mashed potatoes. In Vietnam, we use sweet potatoes for this recipe, but I did try with both of them, the sweet potatoes and the normal potatoes, and both of them taste good. I also tried with the potato starch and it came out perfectly, so just to let you know that we have many options for this. Next, add the water into the bowl. This water is best to be lukewarm and we won't add all of them at once but little by little. I start with adding about 170 milliliters, then I knead the dough lightly. Then continue adding water, a tablespoon at a time, and knead until I have a smooth and soft dough. We do it like this because different types of flour may absorb water in different ways, so the amount of water is not fixed but varies depending on the flour you use. So the best way is to wash your dough and stop when the dough has Play-Doh consistency, is soft and smooth and not wet and sticky like in the video. Cover and let the dough rest for about 30 minutes. However, if you could prepare this dough a long time in advance so that it has some hours to rest, then it will have better taste. While waiting for the dough to rest, we prepare the fillings. First, soak the dried mushrooms and glass noodles with warm water in 5 to 10 minutes until they turn soft. Then drain and shake off all of the water. Next, we're gonna slice this mushroom thinly and cut the glass noodles into about 2 to 3 centimeters sized. We also need to peel and shred the carrots and chop the onions. Then put all of the ingredients for the filling into a bowl, including the meat, carrots, mushrooms, glass noodles, and onions. Add some salt and oil and combine all of these ingredients. There's an important note here. Make sure that you have drained the mushrooms and the noodles carefully so that it won't make the fillings wet. If there are a lot of water in the filling, then this water will evaporate and create steam when we fry the balls, which makes the ball crack and break. So in short, if we don't want our balls to break while being fried, make sure that the fillings are not wet. And when the fillings are ready, we're going to divide the dough into 12 portions as well. Take a portion of dough and a portion of filling. First, flatten the dough and make its edge slightly thinner than the middle. Then place the filling in the center and wrap the dough around this filling. Pinch the edge and seal it carefully. Finally, shape them into an oval-shaped ball like in the video. So in these steps, there are 3 important notes. First, after the resting time, the dough might become a bit drier. If this is the case, then dip your fingers into water and use these wet fingers to knead the dough lightly to help it become smooth and soft again. The dough should be elastic and easy to knead like in the video. Second, try to wrap the dough tightly so that there's no space between the filling and the dough. Otherwise, the air in this space will make the dough pop very fast when the balls are fried, which will result in the balls being break. Third, the thickness of the dough should be even in every point. If at some places the dough is thinner than in other places, then this thinner dough will tend to crack and bake faster while the balls are fried. Repeat with the rest of the dough and fillings. When finished, cover these balls and let them rest for at least 1 hour at a cool and dry place. This resting time is very important because it allows the dough to absorb some moisture from the fillings, which helps to make the dough swell better and doesn't crack when being fried. While waiting for the bowls to rest, we prepare the dipping sauce and pickled vegetables or the salad to serve with these bowls. First, for the salad, in Vietnam we use green papaya and carrots, but if it's hard for you to find green papayas, then kohlrabi is a very good substitution. What we're gonna do with these vegetables is to peel them, cut them into long pieces, then thinly slice them. For the papayas, after cutting, we will need to mix them with salt for 1 or 2 minutes, then wash under running water and then drain very well. This helps to remove the bitterness in the papayas. Similar to the papayas, we also cut the kohlrabi into thin slices, but for kohlrabi, there's no need to wash them with salt like papaya. And to make the salad more attractive and more beautiful, we normally cut the carrots into small flower shape like in the video. When finished with the cutting, put all of the vegetables into a large bowl with sugar. Mix very well and leave them for at least 30 minutes. This step gives the vegetables the crunchiness and freshness, so don't skip it. Then add the lemon juice and salt into the bowl of vegetables and mix very well. You may want to taste the vegetables here and adjust the spice if necessary. The salad should be a little bit salty, a little bit sweet, and a little bit sour. When done with the salad, we will turn to the dipping sauce. Add sugar, lemon juice, and water into a bowl. Mix very well and taste. We want a balance of the tanginess from lemon and sweetness from the sugar. If you think that this is a good lemon juice, then we've done and we can move to the next step. Then gradually add in the fish sauce, half a tablespoon at a time until the dipping sauce is salty enough to your taste. Note that different types of fish sauce have different types of saltiness, so the amount of ingredients is just for reference. The most important thing here is that you taste the sauce yourself and to decide if it is salty enough. Once done, cover the sauce and the salad and let them rest at room temperature. Now back to the bowls. The very last step is to fry them. An important rule with these bowls is the level of oil in the pan should be higher than the height of the bowls, which means that we will need to use a lot of oil. So in order to not waste too much oil, normally I use a small saucepan. In this case, I will have to fry the balls in separate batches, but this is completely fine to me. Heat the oil on medium heat, and when it reaches between 150 and 160 degrees C, put the balls into the pan. Then fry the ball at this heat for about 15 to 20 minutes. The heat is very important to these balls. I did try with different temperatures of the oil and figured out that if the oil is too hot, like higher than 180 degrees C, the balls are likely to crack and break very fast. In contrast, if the temperature of the oil is too low, like below 130 degrees C, the dough will become chewy and hard. After about 8 to 10 minutes, the balls will puff and float to the top. From this moment, we have two options. Option 1 is to keep stirring the balls so that they are always covered by hot oil. Option 2 is to use a large spoon or a skimmer like this to push the balls down so that they are completely covered by oil. Why do we need to do that? From my experience, when the balls are not covered by hot oil and are exposed to the air, particularly the cold air in the winter, they will crack, break, and even explode very fast. Normally I choose the second option because it's quite effortless. I only need to put something in the back so that the skimmer can stand by itself, then in the meantime I can go and do other things. After about 5 to 7 minutes more, which means about 15 to 17 minutes from the time we put the balls into the pan, we can take the balls out and start to fry a new batch. After the first time of frying, the balls are cooked but are not perfect. We still need to fry them for another time to make its covers crispy and golden brown. You don't really have to fry them twice, but I prefer this method because frying twice makes the dough crispier. Also, we can keep the balls after the first fry for about 2 or 3 days in the fridge, and whenever we want to eat them, we can fry them again. So for the second fry, the oil needs to be hotter between 170 and 180 degrees C, and we're gonna fry the balls for about 5 minutes in this hot oil until it turns crispy and lightly golden brown. Once done, put these balls on a kitchen towel, which helps to absorb the excess oil of the balls. Serve these balls with dipping sauce and salads while they are still very hot. Good glutinous rice balls have a cover that is crispy outside but soft and chewy inside. And in many places in Vietnam we use chili sauce with these balls, but this is completely optional. So that was how to make bánh rán mặn. In the description below this video you can find a list of all of the ingredients and also my summary of the major tips to succeed with this dish. I hope the tutorial was helpful and inspirational to you guys. Thank you very much for watching and see you again very soon.